Greetings YouTube, Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome back to the very next episode of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. This is episode number 20, and we begin this episode in the Pokemon HQ lab, where we begin most of our episodes, or at least that's what it seems like, as of late. And in the beginning of this episode, we're going to be purifying 3 Shadow Pokemon that we placed in the Purifying Chamber at the end of episode number 19, which was last time, in case you can't count. That wasn't an insult, by the way. Sometimes I can't count, so I know how it goes. Anyway, we begin with Voltorb, the pure electric type, and it's going to be regaining the moves Mirror Coat and Refresh. Mirror Coat is an awesome move for it, simply because it reflects double the amount of special damage it receives in that turn and reflects it back onto its attacker, which is an awesome move. And Refresh is kind of but that's alright. Second Pokemon we're going to be purifying is Vulpix, a pure fire type with the ability Flash Fire, which means that it's invulnerable to any fire type attack, which is an awesome ability. And that's not the only effect of it. It also increases its own power when using fire type moves after it's been hit by a fire type move. It regains the move Heat Wave, which is a fantastic fire type move. And we also have the move Charm, which is kind of meh, but it can be good. I don't know why I said it in that accent. It can be good in certain situations to lower especially Shadow Pokemon's attack power. And the third and final Pokemon we're going to be purifying in this episode is going to be the pure grass type Shroomish with the Effect Spore ability, which means that it has a 30% chance of either paralyzing, putting to sleep, or poisoning any opponent that makes physical contact with it. It regains the move False Swipe and also Refresh. And the coolest thing about Shroomish is probably its evolution. Breloom is a fighting type after it evolves, so that's pretty awesome, especially because there's not a lot of fighting types in this game, and there's not a lot of grass types in this game, so it's a win-win. I just happen to not be using it. Alright, as for the first Shadow Pokemon that we were able to snag with the fighting type, we have Makuhita here. I'm going to place him in the Purifying Chamber and get him all ready to go. And we have some other things to play with here. First of all, I'm going to be adding Vulpix to my party, and it is going to be on my official roster. You can even say that with a straight face. Official roster. It sounds important though, doesn't it? Anywho, we can switch out Surskit for Shroomish there. And what that does is it allows the tempo to get up to the perfect stage because Gulpin's poison type is super effective on Shroomish's grass type. And you need the pure grass type in that set when using a poison type Pokemon because poison is only good on the grass type. That's it. It has no other advantages. So if you don't use a grass type, you can't use a poison type. Keep that in mind. Or you can, but you just will not ever achieve the perfect tempo that you need. Alright, as for the fourth set, I don't know if there's an area where I can put Spheal. Let's see. I guess we'll put Carvanha in there and save Spheal for later. Now, the good news about water and ice types is that ice... Oh, there we go. Perfect. Ice has a lot of advantages, is what I was going to say. And as you can see, because Surskit is bug type and Carvanha is dark type, that works out perfectly. And now we have 4 perfect sets. So we're almost halfway completed as far as filling up the Purifying Chamber goes, which is pretty awesome. I'm going to deposit Delcatty because I don't need it any longer. I'm going to keep Teddiursa just for the whole lick effect. And we're going to begin training Vulpix as a member of our team. And we have nothing else to do but move on to Mount Battle to get some training out of the way. Off to Mount Battle. Here we are, and you may recognize this place because, well, we were here earlier in the game. We had to pay a visit to Vander in order to get some information about where Professor Crane was taken to. And if you played Pokemon Coliseum, this also was a big area. In fact, there was a big part of the storyline that took place in the first 10 zones, or I guess the first area. And I am going to be showing every single battle in Mount Battle. We're going to be doing all 100. Of course, not all right now, and not all at once. And I thought about originally doing it split up into like a separate series and have, its own playlist and all that stuff. But I decided against that this time for a couple of reasons. One, because it's really difficult for me to split up the videos in that way. And secondly, I'm going to be integrating it a little bit more with the main storyline, so I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth, if that makes any sense, and go to the storyline again, and then go back to Mount Battle and revisit it, and have it work out so that hopefully when I need training and things like that, I can come back to Mount Battle and pursue the areas that, wherever I left off anyway. The first two areas are really just a joke. And it's going to kind of suck to have to sit here and watch them all, honestly. But I don't want to cut them out because I want to make it a point to show all 100 battles. So you have no guesswork. And if you're watching this as a walkthrough, it's an official walkthrough and you'll see every battle and you won't be missing anything. And yeah, that's pretty much where I stand. So in this episode and the next episode, we're going to be taking on the first two areas. So this episode is going to be kind of long because we had stuff at the beginning with the purifying chamber and all that stuff, so it's probably going to be up near 20 minutes, and then the next episode will be a little bit shorter, hopefully. But for the most part, the Pokemon that you're fighting in both of these areas are such pushovers. Not necessarily with moves and strategy, but more so with levels. And in fact, the first two areas are areas that you can beat before even attempting to fight Lavrina. And I do suggest that if you're having difficulty beating the lab or catching the Delcatty, that you come back here and train a little bit. And you can level up and get some experience that way. Maybe help purify some of your shadow Pokemon if you haven't unlocked the purifying chamber. So there's a lot of reasons to come here early on in the game, and I just didn't do that. So I'm doing it now. The other reason that I wanted to do this now, well, I guess a couple of other reasons. I'll start with the one I was going to say first because that just makes the most sense. And that's going to be that we need to get Vulpix up in levels because we caught it, we purified all that stuff. It's only a level 18 and it's well behind the other team members that I have. I think Vaporeon's at level 25, Golbat at 23, and we have Trapinch also at level 23. And additionally, I want to use Trapinch in battles and get him some experience because when it comes to the main storyline, I don't want to have to use him a whole lot until he evolves, as weird as that sounds. But Trapinch is just not a very good battler right now, especially because of his lack of speed, and he doesn't have very high special defense. So, he gets hit with a water-type move, it's pretty much going to kill him. So, that and the fact that he won't even learn a physical move until level 25, and he's kind of, sort of, almost there, but not really. And Bite and Feint Attack just aren't cutting it. Especially because it's a waste of his extremely high physical attack. Anywho, that's enough of that. Oh, and there is one more reason that I didn't mention that kind of slipped my mind, but after you complete each area of Mount Battle, for the first time you get a special item, and usually it's a TM. The first area, it's the Macho Brace, so that's what we're going to be receiving at the end of Area 1 in this episode. But for example, in the next episode, we will be receiving a TM, and the specific one that we receive for Area 2 is one that is really going to come in handy, and we need it kind of as soon as possible, so the sooner we get it, the better for us. So, that's basically what's going on there. Navigator Robel is up. And yeah, see, a lot of these trainers only have one Pokemon, so it's like, why is this even a challenge? This isn't a Mount Battle challenge, quote-unquote. One neat little thing that I do want to throw in, as far as facts about Mount Battle go, is that if you complete the entire Mount Battle challenge, and I don't mean Area 1 or Area 2, or even just sections of it, if you complete the entire Mount Battle challenge from Area 1 to Area 10 and beat all 100 trainers without changing your team, you can change the order, but without using a PC in between. you can receive and actually choose between the 3 Johto starters, so Cyndaquil, Chikorita, and Totodile, and it'll allow you to choose one, and they come at level 5, I believe, with the Elemental Hyper Beam move. So for Chikorita, it'll have Frenzy Plant, and for Cyndaquil, it'll have, what's the name of that one? Blast Burn. There we go. I had a total brain fart right there. Nothing out of the ordinary. If you watch any of my videos, you know that I have brain farts in like every single video I've ever created. And for Totodile, it's Hydro Cannon. So basically, if you don't know what I mean by that, those moves have the exact same power and accuracy and effect that Hyper Beam does, only they are the water, grass, and fire types, respectively. So, well, not respectively. Irrespectively. No, I didn't really just say that. Don't even pretend that you heard that. This lady has a Sunkern. Sunkern makes a lot of appearances in this game. Thankfully, you don't have to catch the darn thing. You do have to catch Sunflora in Pokemon Coliseum, and I thought that was just pointless because Sunflora is absolutely awful. And from a statistical standpoint, Sunkern is technically the worst Pokemon ever created. That's right, even worse than Magikarp. And that's just based on base stats. If you add them all up, Sunkern has less than Magikarp, which I thought was very interesting, but then again, Magikarp isn't really a pushover. I mean, it's kind of quick. It does have some use, sort of, ish. I mean, and it knows Splash, so nothing really gets better than that if you ask me. Yes, we're already up to Zone 7, so we have 3 battles after this. Which means we have 4 battles, because we haven't started this battle yet. Taillow and Spinarak. One thing I do wish about this game is that we were able to catch Taillow at the beginning, because Swellow is available as a Shadow Pokemon, like at the very, very end of the game, which is awesome and everything, you know, especially if you're going to do post-game, or you're going to be trading your Pokemon from XD over to like Emerald or Ruby or Sapphire or whatever. And that's awesome. But at the same time, like, Taillow would be an awesome addition to pretty much any team in the early goings. And I mean, Swellow isn't a fantastic Pokemon, but it is fantastic in terms of speed. And there really aren't that many decent flying type Pokemon to get in this game. There's really not. I mean, there's Pidgeotto that's going to be coming up later on, but that's well beyond the halfway point of the game. So, I mean, other than that, I mean, of course you have Zubat, which is a good choice, of course, because I chose it, so duh, it has to be a good choice. And honestly, I don't even know if we have another flying type Pokemon. I guess the only other one would be Ladybug, I'm guessing. And it's also possible to have Hoppip at this point, now that I'm thinking about it. But it's like, would you rather have Hoppip and Ladybug, or would you rather have Taillow? If you said Ladybug, I just facepalmed. No, Taillow is definitely the better choice there. I mean, it learns good moves on its own. So, it really, other than, you know, being fragile, it doesn't have a lot of downsides. And it's a good early game Pokemon, so I don't understand why Swellow is pushed all the way towards the end of the game. I don't know, I'm done ranting about that though. I can move on. Moving on with my life now. Alright, as you can see, we have a Nincada here. They went down in one hit to Trapinch's Bite, which I think is hilarious. And Vulpix grew up to level 19, which is awesome. And another level or two is going to learn Confuse Ray, and unfortunately I think I'm going to get rid of Charm, although I haven't quite decided yet. At the same time, I do have 2 Fire-type moves right now with Heat Wave and Ember, and I guess I can explain Heat Wave a little bit more. It does attack both of the opponent's Pokemon that are on the field, and it has 100 base power but only 90 accuracy, so it's barely more powerful than Flamethrower. Although it is split because it attacks 2 Pokemon, not just one, like Flamethrower does. The downside is the 90% accuracy, and it will miss from time to time, which does kind of suck, admittedly, especially because it tends to only miss when you really need it not to, or when your entire strategy depends on one specific hit, in which case it will just miss pretty much automatically, because the game just hates me like that, I think. And yeah, killed Skitty but didn't kill Baltoy. Kind of saw that one coming because Baltoy is pretty specially bulky. Not especially bulky, specially bulky. Chikorita. Interesting. How does Baltoy know Psybeam already? What level is this thing at? Was it like 11? Something like that? Yeah, level 11. I didn't know it learned Psybeam that fast. I actually don't have anything against Baltoy. I think Baltoy and Claydol are really decent Pokemon. I think they get overlooked a lot. Because Baltoy is one of the few Psychic-type Pokemon that just isn't like super fast and with super high special attack. Basically a non-Psychic, or a non-Sweeper. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because I think it's a little bit refreshing to have a bulky Psychic-type Pokemon for once, because it just never happens. Anyway, Vander is next. And this is the guy we talked to earlier. Oh, hello, you've come to train at Mount Battle. That's excellent. Ever since I saw your great battle against my rookie trainee, I've been wanting to battle you. So let's not waste any time. I'd like to take a good look firsthand at how good you are. Blah, blah, blah. This battle is crazy easy because he still stays within the levels of the area to begin with. So we're talking teens. So nothing extraordinary. He has 3 Pokemon, Whismur, Machop, and Zigzagoon. Whismur and Zigzagoon are pure normal types, and Machop, of course, is a fighting type. So if you bring fighting types into this battle, you're going to win really easily. In fact, if you bring anything that's over level 15, regardless of type, as long as it's not a ghost type with only ghost type moves, more than likely you're going to win this battle. And Whismur went down in one hit to Heat Wave, so that's pretty cool. Zigzagoon goes for the Rock Smash, which really is a crappy move, other than the fact that it has a pretty decent chance at lowering your physical defense. But other than that, it's really nothing special. I wasn't expecting Whismur to die in one hit from Heat Wave, so that's why I went for the bite there. I knew Machop was coming out next, but I didn't expect Whismur to faint from that, so I guess it doesn't matter. It's going to knock him out. Goodbye, Machop. I wish you could catch Machop in this game. I guess, well, maybe not, because you can't evolve it without trading it. So it'd be cool if you could catch, like, Gengar or Machamp in this game. That would be awesome. In case you couldn't tell, I really want Nintendo to consider remaking this game, or even better yet, creating a new type Pokemon XD adventure for the Wii U. That would be fantastic. I would be all over that. You've cleared Area 1. Here you should have these Poke Coupons. So you also earn Poke Coupons when you defeat each area, and you can use them to claim prizes later on. Of course, 200 that we received right now is going to be good for nothing, but you can claim prizes like TMs and special items and stuff at the lobby entrance. And I'll show you all that stuff later on. Anyway, we received the Macho Brace, which is good for EV training. It doubles your EVs in each battle at the price of your speed, so your speed is halved during battle. That's not to say that it changes speed EVs, though. Be very careful. It increases the amount of EVs you receive in total. So if you get speed EVs, it's going to double that, but it's going to have your speed in the battle. So basically, you're just going to be slow. That's it. Alright, so let's take a look at our team right now. We've got Trapinch at level 24 with that amazing attack stat and pretty much nothing to show for it, because all he knows is Dark-type moves. And we have our level 19 Vulpix with an awesome nature to boot, because his special attack and special defense and speed are all very high, with low attack because it doesn't need attack to begin with. So I was hoping for that type of nature, and I didn't have to soft reset at all. But anyway, we're going to stop here, and in the next episode, we're going to be taking on Area 2 of Mount Battle. Thank you very much for watching, folks, and stay tuned for episode number 21. Game on.